Browns 0-8 at home. Just sad.
I haven't heard you this down since Dr. Brown got fired. It's a game that we were in, and it's a game that we just don't finish.
I don't want to watch anymore.
Why? Why does that happen? I'm so sick of watching those plays.
0-16.
I definitely do not want to watch it all 22.
That's up and down to me. That looks like dysfunction. Welcome back, Survivors, episode 41, season 3. This is Surviving the Season. I am Adam. Greg is here.
Yo!
John Colosimo is here, at JCosmo on Twitter. John, what up, man? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a long time since way back, I think maybe even before preseason games started, so I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, what's your Twitter? C-O...
JCOZMO.
Yeah, perfect. So follow Cosmo. He's on a few different podcasts now. He's writing for...
Waiting for next year.
Next year. Yes. So awesome stuff going on there. And nice to have you back, bro. Especially for a win. Browns win 35-20, just like we wrote it up.
Piece of cake. What did I said 35-28, didn't I? I've never been serious about any of these scores, though. So...
Yeah, at first I thought it was going to be something crazy like 60-0, and then it would actually hit one of our predictions that we do.
Yeah, they definitely took their foot off the gas. The only thing that worries you is, did the Jeff Driscoll just have his Baker Mayfield coming out party where, Baker did? He almost did the Baker Mayfield New York Jets. Bring them back from nowhere. Maybe they just found the quarterback of the future. Do we need to be worried about that? What do you think, John?
I'm not so scared about Jeff Driscoll. It would have been amazing, though. I would have had to give him all the credit in the world. He brings them back from where they were. But yeah, Jeff Driscoll. Was he an Ohio State guy? That name sticks in my head.
He went to Florida, right?
Oh, that's right. He did. He was a Florida guy.
He was a Florida guy, and then he transferred somewhere. I don't remember what went down.
I got it.
Whole deal.
I got it. Louisiana Tech.
Yeah. So I thought he actually played halfway decent. He was throwing some bullets in there, some nice little passes, but nobody outplayed Baker Mayfield. First half was just phenomenal. I don't have the halftime numbers, but I bet it was the tale of two halves. What did he throw for, like 9 yards in the second half?
Yeah, I don't think that his
passes.
Stats were very much different from the first half to the final. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, because I could have swore he was right around 250 yards at halftime. It was on a ridiculous pace.
I think he only threw three passes after we were up 35-0. After we scored, after the crazy fumbled snap, it was 35-0, I believe.
Yep, and we went to
35-7
offense.
35-7, sorry.
What was it?
35-7.
Yeah, and that's when even before that, we went to prevent offense right after half. Do you want me to jump into the game a little bit and just start going through?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we got the opening kickoff, and we started off with, hey, how is it that screen passes are working all of a sudden for the Browns? What's going on? 23 yards on a screen pass? That's unheard of. Not with the Browns. That was interesting. Then a couple of plays later, Duke out of the slot now. So we go with the screen pass. Next thing you know, we got Duke in the slot. He goes for 23. What the hell's going on here? How have we not figured this out? And how many years? 2 years now here with Hugh Jackson, could not figure this out. All of a sudden, we're doing the things that we should have been doing the whole time. And then that leads to the Nick Chubb 1 yard touchdown. I thought on that drive, the play calling was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was great. I thought it was really nice to see them continue to feature those backs, especially in the passing game. We're still hiding those tackles a bit by getting these quick hitters off and stuff. Baker looks sharp. It was really nice to see. And, I think that was the first possession touchdown of the season for the Browns.
Ooh.
I think so.
Do we have a field goal last week or something? I thought another week we actually put points on the board.
I thought it was a field goal.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're right. I agree with you there. The tackles. Greg Robinson, again, I didn't notice anything. bad. They seem to play a good game. The Bengals have some decent players up front. They control Geno Atkins and the tackles. I think the one time was it Darren Fells who was chipping, and then Hubbard picked it up, and I can't remember who it was, got through, maybe got the sack, but I bbelieve there was a penalty on that one.
Yeah, that's right.
Later in the game. So then we kick off 7-0 us. Bengals worked away down the field. John Ross, who hasn't done anything all year, first play of their game, play action pass, 17 yards. Tyler Boyd had an 11-yard catch on this drive. Mixon had a 12-yard. But they get down, they stall out, and they kick a 54-yarder, which is blocked. Does anybody know who got the hand on that ball?
Myles Garrett.
I think it was?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a big boy.
Garrett got credited.
I couldn't tell
with the block.
I couldn't tell, but either way, special teams better now than at the beginning of the year. I didn't know we did give up a long kickoff return.
A couple punt returns as well.
Okay.
Didn't go
I
our way.
was sweating those all game a little bit for the first time in a couple of weeks. Yeah, that I thought he was going to break one.
Yep. So we block it. We get it back on the 44-yard line, and it was just 5 plays later. Landry that we score. Callaway with a 13-yard touchdown. Landry had a reception of 14 yards. Higgins with a 24-yard catch. What did Landry have on the day, Adam? We always check Landry after the game. What's Landry Watch have to say?
Landry had 3 receptions for 30 yards on 5 targets.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. What was interesting about the second drive was the Browns had spread it out. They went to a hurry-up offense with nobody in the backfield and threw the ball 5 straight times, I believe.
Yeah.
So the creativity from the first drive to the second drive that they had planned out, these are scripted plays. That's awesome to see from a Cleveland offense that usually was hide for two, incomplete, punt. Like we're just doing some fun stuff here again.
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure if this was by the third or the second drive. I think it was really quick though. I want to say by the end of the second drive, Baker had already hit 7 different receivers.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. He started off, he was 6 for 6 right from the jump before he threw his first incomplete. Yeah, he passed it around quite a bit, which is, Landry has 3 catches for 30 yards. We're usually giving him a hard time because he's getting paid like wide receiver 1. But they didn't need him. Same thing with Duke Johnson, who only had 1 catch for the 23 yards. That was on the first drive. We just weren't getting into third downs. It seemed like you're not going to get Duke on the field when you're not in third downs often. We're getting big gains on first and second down. Adam, what do you have for us? I know you keep the third downs.
So
where were we on the day?
Our first 6 third downs we converted.
Okay.
The second half we converted 0-4.
But what was the difference in the second half? They're all third and longs most likely, or we're just running on first, running on second.
Yeah.
What are we going to do on third? It's the one Brashad Perryman fucking reverse. Jesus, that one sticks out.
Yeah, they were awesome in the first half. The third and three converted, 2 3rd and 1s and a 3rd and 11. So you got yourself to manageable third downs, which is super important in the NFL.
Yep, absolutely. So we're up 14-0 at that point, and the Bengals go 3 and out. We get the ball back. We start from our own 4-yard line. Here we are, one of those 3rd down and 3s. Landry goes for 9. Very next set of downs, we're at 3rd and 11 again. It's Callaway for 21. Callaway had a nice game.
Yeah.
He looked good.
Yep, catching the ball when it's thrown his way. 4 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. So, yeah, he did a nice job today. And then the next set of downs is Njoku. Here's where David Njoku goes off when everybody's bad-mouthing. I see just nonstop bad-mouthing David Njoku on Twitter. It needs to stop. David Njoku for 24, followed by Njoku for 21. And then 2 plays later, the Chief caps it off, 6-yard touchdown reception, 3 catches, 51 yards on that drive. He ended up 5 catches, 63 and a touchdown, 5 targets. That's efficiency right there, boys.
Yeah, don't overlook that seam pass that went for 21 down to the 6-yard line. Diving
Did he lay it out
catch.
for?
That was dope.
He can't catch, guys.
I just had an argument with one of my better friends about it, who's ready to like throw in the towel on David Njoku.
Yep.
I couldn't help but rub his nose a little bit after this game.
Yep, 22 years old. Let's throw him out. Let's throw him out with the garbage.
What was up with that hurdle? The flying crossbody from the WWF old school, and then Treader and Zeitler just coming down to shove him in the end zone was like the team was on fire, like angry, fiery. That was so good to see early. Like a team that was ready to go.
They spiked Njoku on that play.
Yeah,
they spiked him for the touchdown.
Hell yeah! It was the Chief smash with actual Chief. Yeah, that was phenomenal. I thought he was maybe I don't know what he was thinking with that. I don't know how he's going to jump from the 6-yard line all the way in the end zone. But hey, man, he's a high jumper in high school. So
right, national champion high jumper. So he was probably thinking he could jump everybody.
Yeah, no problem. Watch me jump over the whole team. Now watch this, guys. All right, so now we're up 21-0.
Feeling good about ourselves.
Play of the game. So 2 plays into their next drive. I don't know what Dalton. I can't remember how this whole thing went down. I know he might have been taking pressure and he just kind of threw the ball up. I don't even know who he's throwing it to. Randall intercepts the pass and runs out of bounds directly to Hugh Jackson. This could go down as the play of the year to just F you, Hugh, suck it all the way. Like, dude, thanks for your time in Cleveland. And look at how we're playing without you.
Yeah. It was beautiful. Like, cause he talked shit on Twitter. Right. And there were certain Browns fans that had problems with that, but then here he backs it up with the pick, handed it to Hugh, who I couldn't believe actually took the ball.
He didn't realize that this is just Hugh not being able to read players, to be able to even tell what. I mean, come on, he taps him on the head like this isn't a moment of disrespect. That's a slap in the face.
It was kind of funny that Hugh like tried to drop the ball. Like he was like,
I didn't see.
I shouldn't even took this. Like, and then he like tries to just kind of tosses it down. Like, oh, that is disrespectful.
Oh, and then he was just shaking his head, going, "Oh man, that's going to go down." I mean, Demarius Randall just earned himself, a few extra years. So.
Sign him up, baby.
CBS couldn't have shown Hugh Jackson more. We had so many shots of Hugh Jackson.
It was so nice to see that.
It's like Urban Meyer after every.
No, I agree. Yeah, and it was so nice to like see those, those furrowed brows with a Bengals symbol on the chest instead of a Browns.
I know. Yeah, I almost had PTSD every time they showed him. I was like, no. Oh wait, he doesn't play for us. Yeah, he doesn't coach for us. Yeah.
Yeah, so they could have ended the game right there. I would have been completely satisfied. But we kept pouring it on. So we started then from the 41-yard line. We get down in the red zone when Chubb scores on a 14-yard play. I don't know why I wrote down 14-yard play. What was it, a run or a pass? I don't even remember this one. What was that one?
He caught it off the back of the dude's helmet.
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that was the one worry that I had with Nick Chubb coming into the year is what's he going to give you in the past game? He didn't do it in college. And I always said, hey, I don't know if he can do it. He has to show that he can. Well, that catch right there eases my fears about him a little bit.
That was a big boy catch.
Absolutely. And it's not like we need him to go into the slot. I'm not expecting him to be Le'Veon Bell, but you need to be able to catch the screens and do, just be able to make a guy miss when you're getting matched up with a linebacker, that sort of thing. The things that they have doing, Todd Gurley doing. I mean, you don't have to do much more than that. Just be consistent with it. And he has been. I don't know if he's dropped a pass. I don't think he has.
He's 3 for 3 today for 44 yards, almost 15 yards a catch, and that phenomenal touchdown catch. So that was pretty awesome.
Yep. So yeah, he caught the ball well. Now it wasn't a ton of running room. He had 28 carries, 84 yards, with just a 3-yard average, and that was the one towards the end of the game. That 27-yard long run helped him, but he wasn't. They weren't getting too much of a push up front, and a lot of those in the second half just seemed like he was running into a brick wall at times. So.
I think you were seeing like some of the stuff from last year, especially in that second half where, the defense knows what's coming, and we're doing these things on first and second down. I think we ran first and second down. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm not sure that we passed on first or second after that 5th touchdown.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think so.
You're probably right. I don't think so.
That Chubb touchdown, like Mayfield just sort of putting a little touch on it to float it over there. He had that one earlier to Higgins. Higgins only catch today, the 24-yarder where Mayfield got a little bit loose. It was on the second drive, and he just touched it, floated it up for Higgins. He's got it all. He can zip it in there when he needs to. He can do a touch pass when he needs to, and they're accurate and on target. So, I mean, nothing but good things
rookie
to
of the
say
week
about
again
Mayfield,
for Baker Mayfield.
He fired one right through Duke's hands into his face mask. On the goal line.
That's where he should have taken a little bit off, because that probably would have turned into a touchdown. They ended up scoring anyways. But so now we're up 28-0 at this point when Cincinnati finally puts together a drive.
225
by John.
225 on the clock when they got the ball back on their own.
How much?
225. I thought there was a little defensive breakdown on this drive when Dalton got out on 2nd and 20. Garrett had him in the backfield, and Garrett got tackled.
Agba.
He literally got tackled with no call. I mean, what are you going to do? He gets tackled on just about every play.
Yeah, that was rough. So Mixon had a 21-yard run on that. John Ross capped it off with a 2-yard touchdown. So we still felt good at that point. It was 28-7. Were you guys surprised that after the Duke run on the very next possession, how much time do we have when we got the ball back, Adam? Do you have that written down? 40 seconds?
32 seconds.
32 seconds.
28.
Were you guys surprised they didn't try to continue down and at least get in field goal position?
Well, Duke had the 13-yard run. They took a timeout with 24 seconds. They threw it on the next play. I mean, they threw it deep. And then on the next play, Chubb took a loss, and I think that's when they thought, like, okay, let's just go into half.
They ran the ball on the next play. So once you run the ball there, you're conceding that you're just going, okay, we're good. It's fine. We're up 28-7, but I thought there was an opportunity to at least put a few more points on the board. I guess I'm just getting a little bit greedy.
No, I agree. Those were the comments that were coming out of my family, as we're watching it, so.
We don't get to be greedy often as Browns fans, so we'll take what we get.
I wanted another 60 spot, all right? That's
exactly what I was thinking, dude.
I wanted the 60 spot weekend.
Yeah, right after we run up Michigan, slap Michigan. So we come out of so we go into halftime. 3 plays out of halftime. Billy Price snaps the ball. I don't even know what that was. One of the worst snaps in the history of football.
It was terrible. I mean, he had some power behind that thing. I mean, if Andy doesn't get a finger on that goes back 30 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it? The guy, who was it? Was it Cam Irvin? One of the Browns snapped the ball. It was a year 1 of RG3 right out of the end zone. So the Bengals went. It's funny that Hugh goes over there, and then all of a sudden the Bengals go full Brownsy mode. It's amazing.
I know. That's what I was saying. I posted a comment on Twitter. That shit's contagious, bro. Contagious.
Awesome. So so Agba recovers, and then during the recovery, it looked like he might have got his hand stepped on or knee to the thumb. I don't know what happened. He may have broken his hand. We'll find out later. But it was his throwing hand. How many weeks before we have the Bengals again?
4?
Week 17, I think.
4 weeks. I'm kind of thinking we want to see Andy Dalton because Jeff Driscoll he's the truth.
we call Andy the ginger cringer in my crew, so I was sad to see him go.
Yeah, so he left, and after that, 2 plays later, it was Darren Fells' 6-yard touchdown reception to make it 35-7. Baker bought a little bit of time with his feet. I thought he had him earlier if he would have let it go, but Baker wasn't exactly looking at Fells right away, and then found him wide open, and again putting a little bit of touch on the ball.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Like I just to go back a little bit earlier in that game, one of the weaknesses I thought that criticism I would have had of Baker was his selling of the play action. And
early on.
boy, that play earlier in the game where he hid that ball, and then hit that screen pass was just beautiful. I mean, that was just like excellent execution. And when they showed it from the end zone angle in slow motion, you could just see how he was fooling people. Like, he really didn't know he had that ball in his hand before he threw that. That was beautiful to see. I think he's made major improvements in that area.
Oh yeah, and it's awesome to see that the more the longer these guys play, the more experience they build up, the more nuanced their quarterback game becomes, and they start to get better at the hard count. I would say that's something that Baker would be able to improve on, coming in the next couple of years. But you're right. I thought the same thing early on with the play action earlier games. But yeah, that was a nice little fake. You wonder just how much of that is just, once again, Freddie Kitchens saying, hey, make sure you sell this, man. Like, he seems to have a really good feel for doing things that Baker likes. I imagine they have a good relationship where they're talking that out. Like, hey, what do you want to do in this situation, Baker? What do here's what I'm thinking, and the good communication. So a lot of that talk, what did you guys think of the Bruce Arians talk going on where he said, I'll keep Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchens if I get hired? What were you guys with that?
If I could say real quick, I mean, I think in a scenario where you're going to keep Greg and Freddie and a lot of these guys, that probably is your best case scenario. Yeah, bringing in Bruce Arians. Again, he's just not at the top of my list. He's proven he's good, but he's also 66 years old. He's coming back. I'll tell you, like, one of the things I've always worried about, like when Bruce gets his name mentioned, is he comes from that kind of same Air Coryell kind of old school offense type thing, but if you're going to keep Freddie, who seems to have a little bit of a more modern take on the same offense that we technically have had, like they'll tell you it's impossible to switch offenses mid-year. So we know it's like the same playbook per se, but obviously he's doing things within that playbook that make more sense. So in a scenario that we ended up keeping most of these coaches, Arians as the head coach seems by far like the best version of that idea that I've seen. It's just still not, at the top of my list.
Yep. He's an older coach. Adam, did you want to comment?
Just going back to Arizona days, did Kitchens and Haley work with Arians?
Kitchens was there.
Was Haley offensive coordinator when Arians was head coach?
Geez, I'd have to go and look that up. I'm not positive on that.
Yeah. I know Haley did some time in Arizona, and I know Kitchens was with him. So there may be some familiarity there. But yeah, I sort of agree with John. I would rather go somebody younger. It doesn't have to be younger just to be younger, but
yeah,
I sort of want to find somebody that. What was just so exciting to me in the first half was the different looks that Kitchens threw at the Bengals. He did it last week with the Falcons, running those like 3 running back sets, different formations, then spreading it out and hurrying up. Like, I think we just need some creativity. And I don't mean creativity in Hugh Jackson's way of flea flickers and shit, like trick plays.
Oh, yeah.
I mean creativity with looks.
Exactly. It's not even about creativity with like your play. Hey, we're going to do these crazy concepts or whatever. It's more like, hey, we're going to give you something that you just haven't seen on film before. That's all he's doing. And Hugh Jackson, maybe soon to be Hugh Jackson, head coach for Bengals, but I'm speaking of Marvin Lewis, came out of half and talked to the sideline reporter there. And she, I don't even remember who it was, but they said, he talked about getting lined up properly. And that was the thing. They haven't seen these looks, so they might not be practicing these certain looks throughout the week. They're not getting lined up properly. And then this is what happens. If you remember, Freddie Kitchens had the press conference this week where he keeps joking with our media, and they said, hey, we're going to see that 3 running back look again. And he goes, yeah, I'm probably going to run it 50, 60 plays. Like, he's just toying with them at this point.
I'm sure Hugh spent a lot of time watching the tape on that as a result.
Yeah, he's like, he's gonna run 50, 60. We gotta study this nonstop. But back to the Arians thing. One, he is an older coach, which is fine. I got a chance to read his book, which is a good read if you want to go read something. He talks about like what makes a good quarterback to him and everything that fits. Like, if I was going to draft a quarterback, this is my quarterback criteria. It all fits Baker Mayfield. So in that, that's the kind of guy Bruce Arians is looking. But with what John was saying, Bruce Arians plays, if we're going to run his offense, he plays a deep passing style offense. He's looking downfield a lot, and he wants to be able to go. He says, no risk it, no biscuit. It's a saying that he says. So he tries to push the ball down the field. And when you look at our roster that we have right now with the tackles we're dealing with, we don't have the offensive line to do that. That's why what Freddie Kitchens is doing, where he's getting the ball out of Baker's hands quickly and setting up the quick passing game, and which they've gone to a lot more since he's been inserted as the offensive coordinator. That's what they need to be doing this year. Now you go ahead and you pick up a couple, really good tackles. Maybe you can start working in a lot more of that long developing passing plays, but that's against where the NFL is really going to. So it'll be interesting. He's a player's coach. When you read his book, everybody seems to love the guy. He lets the players be free. So it'll be interesting. And he has all kinds of really good quotes. So we're not going to have another Hugh Jackson thing when it comes to press conferences. So it would be interesting to see where that goes. All right, so let's get back into this game here. So let's just finish this up because there's not too much. Because at this point, we are up 35-7. This is when Jeff Driscoll comes in, and he put together a drive, hit Boyd on a 28-yard touchdown. Next drive, anything that stick out there, Adam? I was going to skip through it unless you had something.
No, we had him just on the next drive. It was 35-14. We had him stopped. Avery got a penalty on the Kindred interception.
Yeah, I was getting there. You're pushing ahead. Oh, okay. So, let me set that up. It was 4th down and 20, and we're thinking game over again. Jeff Driscoll drops back and just heaves up a ball that gets picked. What Kindred, first of all, shouldn't be catching that ball. Let's be honest here. He's trying to pad his stats. So, selfish play. That's karma, bitch. That's what happens. But during that, Avery goes low. Now, I'd like to go back and see, was he pushed into him? Because it really wouldn't have made sense for Gennard Avery just to dive at his legs like that. It was interesting there. We'll see what happened there. But Garrett also put a big shot on him. And then 3 plays after that, they scored a touchdown on a QB sneak. Extra point was missed. That made the game 35-20. We punt again. They get the ball back, and they actually have an opportunity to bring this to a 1-score game. 4th down and 4. Denzel breaks up a pass. So there's the game. All right, fellas.
You were breaking up there a little bit. But I think we got it.
Do you want me to go back?
Just say the part. What were you saying there about the end of the game? I think that got cut off.
Just that chunk, like right before you said Denzel Ward breaks up a pass, like that 10-second stretch.
What was it? You said 4th and 4. Something happened.
Oh, 4th and 4. That was it. That was the end of the game. So we punted. They get the ball back at the 43. They move the ball in the Browns' territory, set up 4th down and 4, and then the pass is batted away by Denzel Ward on Auden Tate, and that was the end of the game.
Okay. There, so. Yeah, that it was just a little broken up. So
yep. Sorry about that.
If anybody can hear it, they're going to hear it twice. How did Ward play today? He had 1 pass defense. He was kind of all over. He didn't have 1 assignment today.
Yeah, didn't seem like it. I don't know. Like, why? I'm interested to go back and see why we gave up so many passing yards to Jeff Driscoll. See where the nice thing is we really whooped up on him, but it gives Greg Williams something game film wise to go in there and to criticize his team and still get him to, hey, we got to make adjustments here. We got to get better here. Still something to talk about, and hopefully their heads aren't getting too big for next week.
Mm-hmm. I think like some of that, the Cincy players made a couple of real nice plays. There was at least a couple of plays that I thought we played not perfect, but pretty decent defense, and the offensive player just made the better play. They really laid out for a couple and did some good things. And then I think there was some, taking advantage of a soft belly, of some of these zones that they tried. I didn't see anything like overly concerning necessarily, aside from the fact that we just kind of went super conservative on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, like maybe if they played a little bit more man, brought a little bit more pressure. It seemed to me like Garrett was getting there late. Like he was getting around the corner with ease They might have been on their second tackle of the day. I think Ogboye was in there at the time, but he was blowing right by him. But never. Well, he got one sack on the day. We only had one sack as the team, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that Agba might have had a sack registered for that fumble, right?
Oh no, I don't think.
No, Garrett had a sack. Agba also had a sack, but there was a penalty. I think there was a defensive hold on Carey. On
That's
Agba's
right.
Sack,
yeah, Agba. Yep, you're right. Agba did have a sack there, and they called the hold.
Really, defensively, like Mixon had 89 yards on 14 carries, but a lot of that was second half. Tyler Boyd got almost all his yardage in the second half.
How about the one catch by Tyler Boyd at the end for like 40 yards that was called back for an illegal shift? All of a sudden, they were making some plays, and then they kept shooting themselves in the foot. Would they have 3 false starts on the one drive?
They had 13 penalties.
Browsian.
Contagious. It's contagious.
Contagious, bro. I think, though, when we see the stats back from PFF, I think Garrett had a better pressure day than what the sack numbers will show. I think he had multiple pressures.
He had 3 pressures on like 4 plays at one point when they kept dropping back. I'm like, he's going to get there eventually. I'm surprised he actually didn't get there a couple more times. I mean, the one play where Andy ran for 20, that was almost a double sack by Agba. Garrett. And matter of fact, it looked like Garrett was getting held so bad.
Oh, he got tackled.
He got tackled, I think.
Yeah.
He straight got tackled.
Yep. And he had like a mitt that I thought he was going to hook onto a jersey as he was getting tackled by that blocker. Yeah.
I thought the game was getting super chippy as well. Did you start to get worried that it's only one play away from Vontaze Burfict taking out Baker's knee?
That's exactly what I was worried about that too. It was like somebody's going to retaliate here. Orson Charles got fired up on that one.
He's lucky he didn't get penalized. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, I think if we had kept our pedal to the metal, we definitely could have seen some off play fireworks.
Yeah, if that score gets run up a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they were still in the game. So even though we handled them pretty handedly, they still had opportunity. Therefore, they couldn't go full unnecessary roughness to the wall type there at the end. Defensively, Schobert had 8 tackles. He did a nice job, I thought. He had that nice tackle for loss that blew up a play, ended a drive for them. Jabril Peppers was getting pretty rowdy in there as well. And I thought Anthony Zettel had his probably best game of the season, even though he hasn't played a lot of snaps, but I saw him out there making a number of plays.
Yeah, I made that comment too to my family as we were watching. It seems like when he gets snaps, he makes plays. So I'd like to see them just rotating him in more because he seems, for me, like I notice him when he's in. So I think he's got one tackle for loss today. I doubt he had that many snaps, but he had a great game the other week. Those goal line snaps. I'm sure you remember those.
He had the sack on the 2-point conversion as well.
Yeah. So I'd like to see him get some more snaps as we go down and just taking the pressure off, the snack numbers we have with Garrett.
Absolutely. Anybody else on defense stick out for you guys? Not really.
No, Randall.
Randall.
Offensive
had a good game.
Yeah, Randall had obviously Randall.
Joby had a tackle
MVP.
for loss.
He gets MVP just for handing you the ball. Offensively, obviously, Baker made your guys' standouts on the day for offense besides Baker. Anybody?
I thought Callaway played one of his better games of the year. Only 5 targets, 4 catches, 62 yards. I think we mentioned that already.
I agree. Yeah, it was nice to see Antonio doing those things. I think everybody in the room that I was watching with was happy with what they were seeing out of him. And I don't think that that happened too often with those guys. And for me as well. Go ahead.
I think Callaway, you give him a couple years, man, he's going to be a very productive wide receiver. You have to it's like with Njoku, it's going to take a little bit of time. This guy's super raw, but he has some special skills that he's dealing with. He just needs to become more consistent. But I think there is special things that come from him that you won't be able to see with guys that just don't have the same athletic ability like Landry and Higgins.
Sure.
And
Sure.
these guys got to be getting used to Baker as well. Njoku didn't drop any passes. We've had those complaints, over the first half of the season, and Callaway didn't drop any passes. So he's picking the ball clean. Maybe this is just part of getting comfortable with Baker, and this is only something to build on now.
Even Perriman was not, dropping passes and looks better than I remember ever seeing him really as a pro since he's been here. I'm the last person that was excited to see Perriman join the squad, and he's been definitely above expectation.
Yeah, I believe he had like a 20% drop rate when he was with the Ravens. Like he was terrible. And he hasn't dropped one yet. Now, then again, he's only had I think less than 10 targets still. But, so that could come. But I agree with you. He's definitely shown more than what I thought. I didn't think we'd see anything out of him. He gets one catch for 6 yards a day. I'm fine with that. You give him one target, he catches.
I think even. Oh, I'm sorry. It was cutting out there. I think he actually played better than that one.
No problem. Yeah. Yep. So 8 guys with receptions today.
Beautiful.
Yeah, nice. 19 completions, 26 attempts for Baker, 258 yards, a 10-yard average, 4 touchdowns, solid rating, no picks again.
And his accuracy was perfect. I mean, all day. He was hitting guys in the numbers, right in the hands, putting it right on point. It wasn't making people have to work. A couple, the Bengals, Alden Tate made a couple phenomenal catches that, he's saving his quarterback. The guys didn't have to do that for Baker. He was putting it right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Second straight game that near perfect quarterback rating. These are the two best games that Baker's had in his career. To high for touchdown passes, 10 yards per attempt. I can't remember exactly what it was last week, but I know it was that or higher. Wonderful to see Baker starting to string these types of performances together.
Yep. Who we got next week, Adam?
We have the Texans on the road.
All right. And they're on a bit of a winning streak. We'll see how, I don't know what they're doing today. I don't think they played yet. So they had won 7 in a row or something like that. But I think this is another winnable game. You guys got anything else to add to today?
Not today. No, I think we covered most of that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thanks, Johnny, for joining us. What's your, you got anything to plug? You got anything to talk about? I know, what's the name of your podcast you guys are doing?
It's what I like to call the worst name podcast in Brown's podcasting. This Believe Land is Your Land. But we have a good time. I think we have a good banner over there with Josh and Mike. So definitely check us out if you got time. And, I've got some articles coming out. I'm waiting for next year, but other than that, I'm just enjoying how this is going. But yeah, check me out if you got time, guys. Thank you for having me on again. I talked to you guys a bunch, so I'll come on anytime you guys let me.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks a lot, dude. Appreciate it. Greg, what's our Twitter?
You can hit us up at STS Podcast. Our email is
survivingtheseason@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody, for listening, supporting the show on patreon.com/STS Podcasts. Johnny Cosmo joins us again. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. Greg, another win. We can't even count our wins now. We have so many.
4, baby. 4, 6, and 1. Still in the playoff. They're really, they had us in that playoff hunt, like little, what do you call it?
Yeah.
Hey, there they are. The Browns at the bottom. Chance to make playoff. Now we just need a few teams to lose today. We'll see what happens. Who knows, man? This thing might be real. There might be a real chance that we do this. We'll be the worst team to ever make playoffs.
I was on the Paul Brown podcast the day before Thanksgiving. Jack had our Vegas chances of making. I don't know if it was Vegas. I think it was actually like Football Outsiders, like a .06 chance of making the playoffs. I bet you we're getting close to 1% here, guys.
And this is when you insert the Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance.
Right.
So you're saying there's a chance. It is the road to redemption. Hashtag Greg. Tell him what we say.
We just completely ran over Hugh today. He is dead. We rolled the whole crew on the road. He is smashed into smithereens. And here we go. We're rolling on. Everybody, keep on surviving.
Hell yeah, guys.